Okay, so this can be quite a bit different from me, or for what I usually do. I just finished watching Peacemaker, and I mean, I'll just be upfront about it. I didn't like it. I still don't like it. Um, and very early on, I caught up to that. I wasn't expecting to liking it. So I kind of just took notes as the series were going on. I think it has like 8 episodes, but that also fell off. Um, so I'm thinking I'm just gonna rant off my experience in watching this series. Um, so that is what you're in for. I'm suspecting this video might be long and rambly. Um, so if that sounds like your jam, this is it, fam. Get it. I should disclose this straight up front. I don't like John Cena, the third former wrestler trying to become actor, as far as I know. Um, of course, I don't know him as a person, but on his actions related to first mentioning Taiwan as an independent country, which is, and then taking that back and apologizing to China, the communist regime, in Mandarin. Um, it's not a lot, but it's one action. I think it's a lot of harm. I don't like John Cena because of this. I never appreciated him anyways, just really. So it's easy. Like, I'm not sacrificing anything. The same with Tom Cruise, but different story. Like, whenever he popped up um, in movie roles, I think he's in Bumblebee, and I highly recommend that one. I remember that as being great. I don't get excited about it. I actually get a little bit like, ugh, because I don't think he can act very well. Um, but I don't like him, and I don't like him being platformed because of his view on Taiwan. That is just how I feel about it. So that will be something that I bring into watching this when I see him. If you don't feel anything about feel like me, that's perfectly fine. It's perfectly valid. I just couldn't um, distract from it. So that has colored my experience. I will mention some things, but I think this is like craftsman and performance, bad written, badly structured, bad TV series. Um, but the John Cena thing is there, and I was also having the bit of I had some, let's say, optimism or hope because of the director James Gunn. I've watched some of his previous movies like Super, and I remember that as being great, and I can easily recommend that. Um, and I could never stop just praising what he did with Guardians of the Galaxy, how he took those from um, obscure, what do you call it, D-listers, comic book characters, and how they are. It was some of the best Marvel movies and cinema movies in general, how they become great characters because of him. And if you know that then some point, because he had some old tweets, he was a bit of an edgy boy. I think he had some jokes about, like, can't remember if it was pedophilia or if it was like dead baby jokes. That Disney let him go, and there was some backlash. Some of the actors said it was stupid, and now he's back, which is rare, and I was happy for that. I'm looking forward to Guardians of the Galaxy 3. It's going to be interesting seeing where they go with Gamora. If you've seen, I'm hoping you've watched Thor, even though there's not that much spoiler, but it definitely confirms that the Gamora that Star-Lord, that Peter Quill was in a relationship with, died in Endgame. So there's something new that needs to be built up. But Guardians of the Galaxy 1 is an amazing movie, and the second one might even be better. Actually going back to being more personal instead of like world ending. Kind of like what I mentioned in my Miss Marvel movies, and as I mentioned in general, world ending scenarios. They're too big, I feel like, for the human mind to comprehend. So we just zone out, say, oh no, the world's ending. But it's probably not going to end in this movie because I'm in the world and they want me to take it serious, or they keep making movies, especially with Marvel, when you know there's machine going on to plan. So more personal stories are better, in my opinion, and definitely Guardians of the Galaxy episode, or Volume 2, is an example of that. That was amazing. So we can never take that away from James Gunn, but then, because he was let go, he was given the opportunity to try and salvage Suicide Squad, a disaster movie, hastily made, very poorly. Like, don't want to start that. Some people have complimented his version called The Suicide Squad, just to make things interesting. I'm not part of that. I think James Gunn's The Suicide Squad is still a bad movie for a lot of reasons. With very few characters that connected, didn't work, and I can see, I don't want to call him a one-trick pony, because directors, they have style, at least those that are what you call auteurs. Like Steven Spielberg has a style, Quentin Tarantino has a style, George Lucas has a style, Martin Scorsese, Wes Anderson have styles, tropes, characters, actors that they feel familiar with, that they can use, and they use again and again. And it's often good. It's no fault of their own. I mean, it's not to blame at all. It's good. But it's just not working here. And I'm going to return to this a lot when we're talking Peacemaker. That the Suicide Squad was not Guardians of the Galaxy. They didn't turn out, to me, to be that lovable, engaging amusement to see. Some of it is because of the Suicide Squad, just loosely. They are villains being put on a suicide mission, hence the name. And of course, James have selected the weird characters. I'm assuming they're all comic book characters. Let me be clear, I'm very low level aware of what's going on in any comics. And maybe DC the least of them, at least when we're talking superhero. So I have no idea if they're real, what's going on, what's happening. I wouldn't know. But I assume that they're all real DC characters that have been created at some point. I know they are not all A-listers, but I assume they aren't original characters. I mean, of course I know Harley Quinn, but like Flag and Peacemaker, we try and keep on topic. So Peacemaker, John Cena's character, is a bad guy. He murders people without hesitation, at least in the Suicide Squad. He has this line, he loves peace, he will do everything for it, no matter how many people he needs to kill. It's a bit of ironic humor, and there's a lot of dialogue like that in Peacemaker. It's like, it's not hitting the mark, it's not there, it's not good, it's not funny. It is just cringy and awkward. It's not good. And so that's pointed out, and this is where, let's just leave it with Suicide Squad. So I wasn't aware, I don't follow the news, I didn't know that they were going to make a spin-off series of this character, Peacemaker. I would not have selected him to make a spin-off character of, but here we are. And so let's begin. Peacemaker episode 1 starts some time, I think it's 4 years after Suicide Squad. one being given. Do I keep his name is Peacekeeper? Is it Peacemaker? See, I keep going into that. Peacemaker, which I want to call it Peacekeeper. So yeah, his name is Peacemaker. I'll try and get it right. I think his name is Chris, the character. So Peacemaker wakes up at the hospital after Suicide Squad. He got a bit injured. We have some of very much returning cringy dialogue where we learn that he smoked weed with the janitor. And these pieces of dialogue, like, they go back and forth, and it's awkward. It's not funny. There will be a lot of that. So Peacemaker. Why am I doing it? Peacemaker wakes up from the hospital and he tries to leave. He's wondered that part of the Suicide Squad is that they are, under cover rogue agency. Like, they can't be known, so the police can't help them. They need to run from the police as well. We are introduced to his father, who's a old racist asshole, is the technical term. I think this is to help understand how Christopher Peacemaker is, or Chris, I think Peacemaker is not that bad, or is he's bad because of his upbringing, because of his father. And yeah, you can try to explain that, but it doesn't mean that, Peacemaker's actions aren't bad on their own. And we learn that his Peacemaker's father, can't remember his name. He has a retired alter ego called the White Dragon, which I'm pretty sure is an actual position, rank, whatever you want to call it, within the Ku Klux Klan. But if you're thinking of ultra racist white supremacists, when you're thinking of peacekeepers, that peacekeeper. I'm not smart. Why am I doing this? Peacemaker. Is it because he wants to make peace, but not keep it? I guess peacekeeper was some police force. I'm sorry, I'm gonna keep going up. If you think ultra racist white supremacists, when you think of Peacemaker, that's what they want to. The design is very much there. But he must be some sort of technical genius, the father, because he has like a portal magic closet. Find out that it's technology, it's not magic. So it's like a lot bigger inside, and he can make scientific gears, especially Peacemaker's helmets, or he has like a different helmet for different functionalities. So his dad's been making the helmet, so Peacemaker picks up some of the helmets. I guess Peacemaker is then approached by what would be his team and say, well, you have to come back and work for us, or you'll go to jail. You are wanted. You did kill some people. And Peacekeeper goes into that. Peacemaker, God damn it, I'm dumb. You're gonna have to live with that. I'm sorry. But Peacemaker gets included in this team of all incompetent, cringy, sad, bad characters, and it's not funny. It just screams to me like trying to be Guardians again, to have these people that are struggling with a lot of things on their own, but they can find a camaraderie, but it doesn't work for me this time around. So then at one point, Peacemaker wants to have sex with his co-worker, his superior female boss. Even though they just met, he follows her into a bar, and she's like, please leave me alone. They don't like each other. No one likes each other in this team. He said, no, I just want to have sex, which is weird. I don't know if it's supposed to be cute or humanizing or something. I don't like it. and it is why her, because I mean, it's John Cena. He is very, I think he's like 50, but very attractive, well built, big bodybuilder type. He'll have no problem, and that is also what happens. Like there's a woman at the corner of the bar that just picks him up, and they have sex, and we see it. There's a lot of that. There's a lot of nakedness and a lot of shots, clips of Peacemaker, John Cena, in his little white underwear. I don't know why that is. I think it's because it's just trying to be different, edgy, grown-up thing. It's weird. So there's a dragged-on sequence of sex and talking afterwards with this random lady that turns out to be, and coincidence are really good in storytelling. So this woman coincidentally turned out to be part of what will be our villains in the shows called Butterflies. At this point, we don't know what they're about, but she screams and she tries to kill Peacemaker. She's quite physically adept, and like she can throw him through walls. And as far as I know, Peacemaker doesn't have super strength. It's weird. He has these helmets and he gets thrown around and jumps off balconies that would have killed normal people. But I'm guessing Peacemaker just doesn't. It's weird and it takes me out of it. And the whole scene was just dragged on. I didn't like it. In the Butterfly, the woman's apartment, there are some LPs and CDs. I thought this took place in modern time. I think it does, but who has that? And there's big attention drawn to the LPs because Peacemaker picks them up and be like, oh, I like this music, I like this song. And after he kills the attacking woman in self-defense with his helmet, can do like a sonic boom thing that doesn't damage him but causes a what's called explosion, shockwave. It kills her, damages some cars. He goes back, Peacemaker goes back to her apartment to steal her CDs and LPs, and he's bad about it. He's trying to make a sack out of the seat. It was weird motivation for me. I guess it's because of he's a villain. So he steals stuff, but it doesn't make me like him. It doesn't make me sympathize. It doesn't make me want to see him succeed, despite of the odds. And all the characters are like this. I can't see any sympathetic humanitarian side to any of them. I don't want them to succeed. They are incompetent and stupid, and they don't communicate, and they're selfish. It's kind of like Suicide Squad all over again. I don't like it. For instance, Peacemaker calls a server sweet cheeks because he thinks it's cheeks on her face. They have discussion about it. It's more cringy dialogue, I would say, where he's like, oh, I didn't mean anything about it. Then, but you can't say that, it's not political correct and it's not fun. They comment, do you need to, the scene is on a diner. They have a meeting on a diner where they exchange confidential papers that they don't want to get stolen, but they're doing it at the diner. So why are they this bad? Why are they this stupid? And I guess they have to have it at a diner, we find out, because one of the boss boys is a secret also bad guy, psychopath murderer, and a big fan of Peacemaker. Apparently his sort of sidekick, of course, Peacemaker's sidekick is Eagly the Eagle. It's not funny, it's not good, but they sit on this diner when Peacemaker's generally always in costume. He takes his helmet off because they comment on it. He eats salad angrily. He calls one of the fat guys dye beard because apparently he dyes his beard. He gets upset about that. It's a big deal. I don't get any of them. There's a point where they go to Peacemaker's mobile home or trailer, and the quote-unquote fat guy, who's the technical guy, he eats some of its peanuts, but they're only there for like half an hour. It's sad and not funny and stereotypical. And there's a scene where the new girl in the team turns out to be Amanda Waller, the moronic villain of the first The Suicide Squad. I guess the other one as well. Her daughter is placed on the team as a mole. She has a scene where she's like, oh, I share too much, and then she just keeps on sharing, and it's awkward, and I do not like it. Like, there's just tons of dialogue that I think is supposed to be funny or silly, and you can be like connecting, like, this is good. It's not. It doesn't feel natural. It's stilted. It's poorly acted, but it's also poorly written. This Guardians of the Galaxy, this is not. It's just not great. I'm sorry if I'm repeating that. It just comes up often in this series, Peacemaker, because it's always there. So that was episode 1. As I said, I took heavy notes in the beginning, and then I couldn't even keep that up. Episode 2, I can't speak anymore. Episode 2, we start with after Peacemaker having killed the butterfly woman in self-defense. Now the police are coming there. We have more cringe as Chris calls his boss, and she says, oh, I know where it is. I can track he still has the Suicide Squad chip in his brain, and then Chris thinks that she can watch what he sees, so he's like, oh, do you want to watch me masturbate? All you have to do is ask. It's really, really bad. Then he takes Peacemaker takes 2 hostages, and it's epiphany of the cringy dialogue, where he's tying them up with ropes, and they start to having like relationship issues that they start hashing out, because they refer to him as like big and handsome, and okay, yeah, but they're also being taken hostage. They're supposed to be scared. I believe he is armed, but if not, he is posing as a threat, and the police are searching the apartment building for him. That's why he's hiding in their apartment. And the woman, and I thought she was pregnant, but it might just have been the ankle, something. I don't want to be rude about it, because I think it's dropped in later episodes. Anyway, she's very much, in a relationship, living with this guy, and she starts suggesting that Peacekeeper can have their way with her, as her husband or boyfriend is tied up. And she starts commenting on the music that he's stealing, like, oh, I like this music. And Peacekeeper's like, yeah, or Peacemaker is like, yeah, I like this music a lot, it's really great. And the boyfriend is like, oh, you never mentioned that music. And the girlfriend is like, oh, I mention this music all the time. In a hostage situation, it's not funny. A lot of the humor is just gonna be like random, not funny things, because like the intro is a silly dance show off with the main guys, with the main cast, the villains, everyone doing silly dances that are just prime TikTok material. So go right ahead, do the marketing, please. There's one where they flip off people, so maybe they'll take that move. It makes no sense to me. It's not funny. It doesn't match any style with this surrealism that seemed to be in the show. I guess it was just an idea that James Gunn had. It's really weird. We learned in episode 2 that Peacemaker was careless with his classified information, because what spurred the butterfly woman to attack him is after they had sex, he can't remember. Or he's reading. He's commenting on her music that he then later steals, and she just left the folder there. She's reading it, and he sees it and does nothing about it. Why should I care about this character? I don't get it. In the end, though, Peacemaker gets away from from the police without being caught. And while he does that, he's waiting for his pet eagly, to get in the car, and he will do that a few more times throughout the series. It's weird to wait for the eagle to get in the car. It's an eagle. No one's really paying attention to it. It can just catch up later, and at a later point, when the eagle gets in, it starts attacking the guy on the passenger seat next to it for no reason. It's stupid, and I don't like it. So as the series goes on, the team deliberately tries to keep hidden what butterflies actually are for Peacemaker and the audience, but they know that there are at least one suspected butterfly that they need to shoot. So they set up Peacemaker outside of this butterfly. It's a human. They can walk. It's an alien that possesses a human body, so you can't tell who's quote unquote the bad guys. But in this episode 3, it's a senator. So they set up Peacemaker outside the senator's home with a sniper, because for some reason he's good at shooting. I guess he can shoot with anything. We mostly see him using a pistol, but he sets up with a sniper, and the whole family turns out to be butterflies. They eat some sort of honey. So there's like a boy and a girl, a dad and a wife, a dad and mom, and they told him to shoot them all 4. And Peacemaker can't do it. I guess this is where we're supposed to feel empathy with him, because he's like, no, I can't shoot them. And then his sidekick shoots them easily. But to me, it just shows incompetence. Then his sidekick name is Vengeance. They go into the house to explore, to figure out something about these butterflies, and Vengeance is tortured to make Peacemaker speak, but Peacemaker doesn't care about it. I think this is supposed to be funny as well. I didn't find it funny at all. The tech guy dances because he killed a bodyguard with a gimmick, like called Kung Fu Master or something. Turns out he's not dead, but he took like 3-4 hits to the head with a crowbar, so it might as well be. No one is sympathetic in this series. I do not like it. It's not very well done. There's quite a bit of energy spent on, or time, attention paid to how Peacemaker has this dove of peace symbol, and he needs it on his weapon. He complains about it. He says, "Oh, I can't shoot these people. It doesn't have the dove of peace symbol on it." And it's stuff like that all over. In general, throughout the series, this is what you're in for. It's terrible. Peacemaker's friend Eagly the Eagle is really stupid. Like, it starts when they first meet. It starts by hugging him. Of course, it's fully CG, and it's also dancing in the intro. But it doesn't really follow orders. It doesn't care. Like, kind of like a wild card. It's not funny. Like, they try to use Eagly at one point to drop off something in a place that they can't get to. So say, "Oh, you could do it," and then it just flies off, drops the MacGuffin in the wood, and now they have to go search for it. And they don't take that into consideration, and they don't mention it and say, "Why is Eagly not doing as you tell it to? Why can't you trust it?" And they just keep hammering it around. I guess it's because it's funny. So this is also where I started just not taking notes and going through the series. Something did happen. Like, this series did grew on me a little bit. Like, I wasn't downright hate watching it, but I can't recommend it. there's been some things going on with Warner Brothers, like with Batgirl Scoop getting cancelled even though they are finished. But from what I could get, Peacemaker season 2 is still a thing, even though they haven't shot anything. I think they haven't filmed anything. So we'll have to wait for this. But of course, we know the DCEU, or what they're calling it, is at best a little cute notch here and there. So Peacemaker, the series, is standalone, as in spin-off from the Suicide Squad. You don't need it to watch anything else. I think it sets up. That is good. That's fine. But I don't think you should watch it. I didn't end up caring for any of these characters. They keep being unprofessional. They keep being incompetent. They keep being stupid. They keep not communicating with each other. They keep being mean and evil, and there keeps being a lot of cringy dialogue. I can't really recommend Peacemaker at all. I did enjoy it. You can learn from it, like I did when I took notes in the beginning, saying these things are set up weird, but they need to happen because this is weird. I'm not a fan. That's long and short of it. I don't want to continue anymore. I can't recommend Peacemaker. Yeah. Thank you for watching.